What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see, we got some fun rainbow, very artistic cut crease kind of eye going on today, because we're going to be diving into a very artistic Artistry massive palette. And if you can't tell what it is the Morphe James Charles Artistry 39 pan eyeshadow and pigment palette, and I cannot wait to show you guys how I did this look today. I originally had 3 other looks that I had in mind. I scraped them all because I was not in love with them as much, not because of the palette, but just because I didn't love them. And I did this one, and I'm like shook to the core, loving it. And so now I'm happy I was able to show you guys how I did this look. See how I sister slayed my face today. If you want to see what my thoughts on this palette was, what the real tea is, and all that fun jazz, and how I did this look, then you're gonna have to keep on watching. As you can see, my brows are on. It's time to set some eyeshadow base down before going in with these fun pigmented shadows. I'm going to go in with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot as always, and I'm just going to put that all over the lid. I will say this is my 4th attempt at playing with this palette, and I'm not saying anything negative at all. It was nothing to do with the palette. It is everything to do with how I didn't like the looks that came out from playing with the palette. Sometimes something just does not want to play with me, and it is like a laughing freaking joke. So that's exactly how I feel. I felt like my technique was not up to par, and I see so many people playing with this palette and doing so many amazing looks, and I get a little discouraged because I'm like, oh my god, I will never be able to do that. Instead of trying to be someone else, I am going to play with this palette with my techniques, the way I like to do it, and the way that I love my eyes to look. So that is how it's going to be a winning look. So now that our eyes are sister set, it is time to go in with some sister shadow. Okay, I can do this. So today we're going to be playing with, of course, the one and only Morphe X James Charles eyeshadow palette. It's going to have the like glossy signature on the front. You're going to open it up, and it's a massive 39 pan eyeshadow palette, ranging from neutrals to bright bolds. Like, this palette is no joke. It is here to play. It's here to slay, and I'm so excited to play with this palette. Like, honestly, I know that this is my like 4th attempt, but you know what? I'm going in with like a confidence, clear mind. Like, you know what? You can do this. Just do the damn thing and play with colors. Let's just play with colors. Hey, I don't know what kind of look I'm going to go for. I know I'm going to go in with Escape, which is like this really nice purple, and I know I want to play with Skip. So I know I want to play with those 2 colors again, but I just cannot decide on what kind of look I want to go for, and I'm just going to have fun with it, honestly. I think it's time for me to just shut up, stop talking, and begin to unleash my inner artist, or should I say, unleash your inner artist. I am going to do duotone eyes again. I don't know exactly what kind of look's gonna happen. I know kind of that they're both gonna be very similar. So now for the inner corner on this side, I'm gonna go in with the shade Playground. I have a stack of brushes that I have not cleaned in like a few days, and like I am like going through my blending brushes and making sure I find my 514, and thankfully I have a lot of them, so we have a clean one. So now we're gonna go in with the shade Social Blade right down here, which is like this nice vibrant green. I'm gonna use that for this inner corner. Darken it a little bit. I'm going to go in with the shade Daddy, which is right next to it. It's a little bit more of a darker green, because I'm not hating the shadow. It's just like I want it to be a little bit more like intense. Like, that shadow is really pretty, but mixing them together, I think, yeah, gave me that vibe that I was really wanting. I wanted it to be a little bit stronger, but like not super crazy. Do not know what color I want to put in the middle, right here and right here, but I do know what color I want to put right here. So I'm going to go in with the shade Escape, which is like that deep purple shade right there, and just we'll try that one out first and then come back. And with the shade right next to it, which is called Single, which is like a lighter purple, like more magenta-y shade. And I'm just gonna kind of tap it around, make sure both of them are like blended together, because that shadow, Escape, is actually really pigmented for a purple. And I love that I can just pack it on, and it's not looking patchy or powdery or like, you know, bunching up. It reminds me a lot of the purples that are in Blood Sugar, because it literally builds beautifully without it being crazy. And now for the center portion of this eye right here, I'm going to go in with Skip, which is going to be that bright pink shade. Now really quickly, just to kind of blend those two shadows together, I'm going to go in with the shade Love That. So I decided to add the pink on this side too, because it's going to make it really cohesive, because everything else is going to be very similar. The only difference is the green and the blue. I think that's really the only thing that I wanted to make different. So now I'm going to cut my crease. I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape like I always do to cut my crease. And we're just going to see what happens, because here's the thing. The other two looks that I did a cut crease and I was not in love with them. So now it is time to really try to cut my crease with my eye shape, not against it. Before this dries, obviously, it's time to go in with some shadow. I'm going to go in with the shade B. Now that both sides are looking much better, I'm actually just going to take a little bit of the same purple, the Escape, and just kind of patting it over top. Only reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want it to be like such a circle-y line. I kind of want them to be blended cohesively. So that's why I'm making sure everything is blended on the outer corners. Just because we're pretty much done with a good basis of the eye, I am thinking about still lining the crease. I might do either a white liner or a liquid liner, or like a glitter liner, I mean. I'm not exactly sure exactly what I'm going to do, because I really want to make this eye look pop as much as possible. So, really quickly, let me throw on some foundation and some concealer and some powder and some bronzer and maybe some blush too, so I don't look like an egg, and come back and be sister snatched with you. Okay, so now that the face is on, it is time to finish off this eye. As you can see, I did some practicing on this side, and I did exactly what I wanted to do. It took a little longer than I wanted to, but hey, it's okay. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liquid Liner in the shade Bump, and this one I'm going to use just kind of like line atop of the cut crease. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And also I am thinking about inner corner, like for both sides, kind of just softening with the green and with the blue, just to kind of make that like same kind of ombre effect. Now that we're needing to move on, I'm going to go in with the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with a mix of two colors, but first I'm going to kind of pack on a color first with a Morphe M408 brush. I'm going to go in with the shade You're Kidding, which is like that bright, vibrant red. I'm going to take a little bit of the vibrant orange shade, which is called 518, which is right here, and I'm going to kind of use that to just kind of diffuse the lower lash line. Corner and brow bone highlight, I'm going to go in with the shade Ring Light right here. So now let me throw on some mascara and some lashes, and I'll be right back to throw on a highlight and a lip with you guys. Okay, so now that we got some Kiss lashes on, we're going to go in with an Ofra highlighter. I'm going to go in with the Blissful highlighter. And now for lips, I'm going to go in with the Jeffree Star Liquid Lipstick in Posh Spice. Okay guys, so here it is. This is the final look using the Morphe X James Charles Artistry palette. And honestly, I am sister shook at how good this eye makeup came out. Like, I am so happy that I scraped those 3 other ideas, and I'm happy that I was able to do a new look and, you know, reinvent and recreate myself and really just kind of do something that I wanted to do in the first place and really take my time and do it. And honestly, I'm so happy that I scraped everything and started over again, because this is exactly the look that I wanted to do for you guys. So now, like I said, there's 39 shadows inside of here, and it's a massive ass palette. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge to sister store it, but I will find a sister spot for it. I'm sorry, I had to do it one more time. Regardless, the only negative thing I'll have to say about this palette so far is that the names are right here on this little slipcase thing, when I would rather them be like on the actual palette or on the back or something like that, because I feel like names are just as important as having the shadows in a palette, and I would like to have had them a little bit more handy. But you know what, whatever, at the end of the day, that's really not the most important thing in the world. I had little to no issues with all of these shadows that I use for every single look that I decided to scrape, but of course this one as well. I had little to no issue with like any of the shadows. All the shadows worked beautifully for me, and honestly, I was pretty much sister shook from every single shadow and every single pigment that I used. I will say though, my favorites definitely are 518, You're Kidding, Skip, that pink is beautiful, B, Daddy, and Playground. Those are my absolute favorite shadows. Like, those are like definitely more of like the pressed pigments, but you know what? They blended beautifully, they went on beautifully, they packed on beautifully. I have nothing else to say except for this palette actually went on very beautifully. I honestly had a really great time with this palette and playing with this palette. And this definitely does unleash your inner artist, because it has so many shadows in here that you can use every single day, or just throw it in for a rainbow look, or throw it in for like an added color, pop of color, etc. And it's just so great to have. So another thing too, this one retails for $39, and this one is sold out right now on Ulta.com and on Morphe.com, and I don't know if all stores are sold out, but I know that some stores like near me sold out pretty fast on this palette. So you know what, if you can get your hands on it, I would definitely recommend getting your hands on it. If not, I believe there will be a restock very soon, so that they can be sister stocked for this palette. I'm sorry, but that's just kind of funny. I like doing that. It's so worth it, and this palette is so fucking stunning. And I will say though, James Charles and Morphe, you guys did the damn thing, and I feel so happy having this palette and happy that I did a great look that I really am obsessed with, and I just can't wait to play with it even more in the future. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you thumbs it up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the very near future. Love you. Bye.